Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the return of the H.4.0.S Open Cup number 7. Of course, this is your bi-weekly dose of Polish StarCraft. We had a bit of a break. This was, being quite regular last year in December and November. And then we had the offline finals. We had the offline finals a couple of months ago. Actually, a month ago at this point. And now we returned with our bi-weekly dose of these online tournaments. I'm, of course, H.4.0.S VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players before us. We have our first match ready. It's going to be a PvZ between ArT and Aristori. Let's go. Let us go. So we have our first matchup, !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We have quite a stacked bracket. Unfortunately, if you're a fan of Terran, I believe Spirit is not here. Spirit, this week at least, he is not here. But we have plenty of other amazing players, and we'll make up for it. We will make up for it. And here we go in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardlet. We have our pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. That's a lot of P's. It is ArT. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Zerg player, the red Zerg representing the sister team representing Platinum Esports. It is Aristori. Let's go. And again, some of the big names that are signed up this week, outside of not having Spirit to make up for that, we have Nurtio. Nurtio, he's back. We were casting Nurtio yesterday in ESL Open Cup Europe, and he's back here in the online regional weeklies, which he's always been a part of, or has been semi-regular with them, but it's great to see him still continuing to be active. Meanwhile, Mana is here, and Mana is very irregular when it comes to the regional events, so I'm a little bit surprised to see him. Mana, he's a lot more active when it comes to the online open tournaments like ESL Open Cup Europe, but he's very rare when it comes to the House Cups or Infolets or some of these other like Polish only tournaments, so I'm very happy to see Mana a part of this. Very happy, and I hope to see him at the offline, or maybe even making it to the offline event as well. That's the biggest thing about Mana. It's always been hard to judge him against Geralt and Christiana and the other Polish Protosses, just because we rarely get to see Mana in these Polish events. So happy to see him, and I hope that we can catch him later on in the evening. Until then, though, we have our ZVP, and for now, it's going to be a hatch gas pull, going to be a standard opener from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, ArT going for a gate expand into the Cybercore. Everything looking as it should. Okay, bye. Kappa, este Colossi, papi. Oh my god. Shaking my head. How could you? You don't just have to watch Terran players. You'll be fine, papi. You'll be fine. You can enjoy StarCraft. I'm sorry, there are no Psy clowns for you today, Colossi. I'm sorry. No Psy. I know how much you love them. You love them. Oh, next time. Just for you. We'll feature some more Psy clowns. Let's keep going. As for now, we're getting into our tech of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of ArT. Standard opener here from our Polish Protoss player so far should be Stargate into Oracles thereafter. Meanwhile, Aristori back at home, getting into his third, droning up. Everything is looking by the book for the time being. No early game aggression. Not yet. Oh, the clown dance. It's beautiful, Bathy. It's beautiful. Next time. But now we do have our depth shading across the map. Again, with our first adept, we should not be committing to the shade. If we do, we are prone to losing the adept. Yes, we do cancel it, we do back off. Just trying to get a read on what's going on, trying to fake out our opponents. Basically, the power spike for this adept arrives when the second adept joins forces with the first. Then adepts can one-shot units. They can one-shot lings, they can one-shot drones, they can one-shot anything. At this stage, other than queens, of course, and they can be quite threatening, but we can see ArT being quite conservative. Pulls back the adept. Does bring it back home, keeps it safe and sound here at the natural. There we go, before moving out with 2. Meanwhile, behind this, we should be expanding and taking the third base, should be on the horizon, as we're going to be harassing here with adepts and oracles. The first oracle does get across the map. We're going to be threatening these mineral lines. Aristori, so far, how good is the defense? We have 2 queens at the natural, we have 2 queens in the main. 2 queens apiece. The drones are going to get caught transferring. Oh, we get 1. So far, good stutter step micro here out of Aristori. He does get a lot of damage done on that Oracle. Very nicely done here. only loses one drone. The Oracle barely does survive. Behind this, interesting. Okay. Do you have the second Oracle going to be threatening that third base? Looks like we can get, oh, one drone. One drone does fall. We should be able to force a cancel as well. Up, up. Oh my god, we get the second drone. We force the Evo chamber. And this Oracle, it's getting quite a lot done here already. The Queen's not able to transfer over because there is no Spore. Spores were a little bit later. So good damage dealt there by ArT. But behind this, we had a faster Forge. I'm curious if this is for +1 charge. I'm curious. I don't know if that's enough of a tell. But +1 charge or Blink, they're both on the table. Stasis Trap going to be thrown down. No reaction! No! No reaction at Aristori. A little bit distracted by the Adepts. The Adepts, they are fended off. They don't do much damage, but a big stasis in the main base. More than half the drones get caught, and the Queen as well. Brutal damage dealt there, and ArT doing quite well for himself. The Oracle stays alive. And behind this, we have our answer. It is not charge. It is going to be +1 and Blink. We have a bit of a gateway explosion. 4 gateways in total. Pretty standard amount so far. Pretty standard follow-up here by ArT. Nothing too crazy, as he now has very little use for these Adepts. It's time to get rid of them. It's time to trade these Adepts out as they've served their purpose. Once again, threatening that third. One Adept does go down, but the Oracles, they come in from behind. Oh, they try to. And looks like they do get one extra drone. 3 in total so far. Adepts, they will be cleaned up. And the Oracles, they find even more damage here at the natural. 4 drone kills in total. Not a bad start here from ArT. I say not a bad start. It's been 7 workers in total. Pretty good. Pretty good so far. Behind this, we're transitioning. We're getting up to 7 gateways. 7 gates, robo production. We'll see if we commit into Immortals or if we head towards Colossi. We're still trying to piece together the direction that ArT wants to go in. Is going to be hitting a timing with these upgrades. He can soon be active. Can soon move out with his Stalkers. There we go. We are pushing. Now this move out is a little bit delayed. We could have moved out a little bit earlier. Just lined up with Blink, but instead a bit of a safer response here by ArT. Now pushing forward, applying quite a bit of pressure here. So far the drone count's looking good, looking solid for Aristori. We do get a Roach. Oh, we get a second Roach as well. Big pick off. Stasis Trap goes off. We can keep pushing. We can, and we do get a bit of damage on those Queens. We don't quite commit. Really feeling it. Gonna be pulling back. Meanwhile, Aristori behind this, taking up even further. He started off with laying Roach. He survives, and now he's going into Hydras and an Infestation Pit. That could lead into Hive Tech, into Lurkers. Could. We'll see if we get there. As Aristori has had a hard time droning. I mean, ArT, he's up in Workers, which is terrifying. He's up in Workers, up in Probes. Aristori just now getting his 4th base, soon to be saturated. Does feel like Aristori's 4th is a little bit late here, and his droning is a little bit lackluster just because of his earlier losses. So Aristori is still stuck at home recovering. And he's embracing his more defensive play right now with taking up into a Lurker Den. It makes sense. Again, Aristori, he's stuck at home. He's still struggling to drone up. He can't move out anytime soon, so may as well make the best of it and take up into Lurker Tech. Now, Lurkers, they can kind of change and swing things in his favor. It's going to be very difficult for a ground toss player to break a defensive line of Lurkers. Difficult, but not impossible. As ArT is once again being active, clearing up whatever creep he can. Behind this, it's not Colossi, it's Disruptors. Disruptors are on the way. Looking to reinforce. Ling's getting ready for a surround as well. ArT not liking the position, he pulls back. I believe he did catch a glimpse of those Lings. Ooh, and this is good. ArT, despite not really scouting much, but recognizing that his opponent isn't being active, Sky Toss. Very, very good game sense out of ArT. Going into a second Stargate, Fleet Beacon, +1 air attack, and Sky Toss. Which means, even though Aristori is working towards Hive Tech Lurkers, and he will get there, doesn't matter, because by the time he gets into Lurkers, we're going to have Carriers. We're going to have Sky Toss. We will have the answer to the Lurker. So we're in for a long one. We're in for a bit of a longer game here. Oh boy. Both players turtling, both players teching, I should say. And we're just headed towards the late game. Now, it's going to be imperative for Aristori to realize what's happening. If Aristori realizes that we are working on Sky Toss, we would be going on a lighter Lurker army, a little bit more Hydras, and transitioning into Spire Tech. So hopefully he doesn't overmake lurkers. If he does, then, I mean, he won't have anything to deal with the eventual carrier production. Alright, just moving out. ArT is going to respect it. He backs up. Again, he's amassing carriers as we speak. We have 3 Stargates, only 2 of them producing. What's the third? So didn't quite have that 3rd Stargate getting going yet. Hydras have been revealed. The lurkers are on the way. Do we see the lurkers? Not quite. Not quite, but soon we will. How many lurkers do we have? So far, 6. Only 6 lurkers. And now they have been spotted. Ooh. They have been confirmed as we do dive on top and punish these stalkers. Up, we get 1. 1 stalker goes down. Zella run by across map, but we have lurkers to defend. They're in position. The spine crawler seconds away from finishing, and it looks like we will clean these zealots up. They get a queen, but not much else. Just the queen. And ArT, he's embracing his carriers and his sky toss. Now, Aristori has yet to scout. We can see that he hasn't gone into the main base. He hasn't checked the fringe bases. He hasn't seen the center base. He has not confirmed the sky toss. He doesn't really know what's happening. He's only seen stalkers. For all he knows, there could be Colossus and Disruptors massing behind this. They could be Immortals. Could be anything. Trying to push in and... oh! Not quite. Carriers yet to reveal themselves. And I'm getting a little bit more concerned. Again, still no Spire, no +3 range. We only have +2 range for the time being for Aristori. Eva Chamber's just chilling. But there we go. Carrier now gets revealed. Now we know what's been going on. Now the Vipers are looking for a yoink. Ooh, we only have 7 Hydras. We barely have any anti-air. 7 Hydras. Big feedbacks here on the Vipers. We don't get a single yoink off. Very nicely done there by ArT, going for a counterattack with his stalkers. At the same time, Aristori pushing in. And now he starts to Spire. Again, the Spire, it's so late. It's so delayed. Yeah, the carriers, they're going to force this back. They're going to reign supreme. At the same time, stalkers are harassing across the map as well, taking down gas geysers. They won't do much here against the lurkers. Yeah, they're going to be going down. They do get a couple of workers. Likewise, Ling's wreaking havoc across the map, but now we're pushing. Now is the time. Again, Aristori is caught with his pants down. Very little anti-air. He had no idea what was happening until it was too late. Quickly checking, he has 4 Hydras. He has 4 Hydras and no other anti-air. There we go, 18 Hydras in production. It's not ideal, but, I mean, we have to work with what we have. The Vipers, no! The Vipers, they rally into their deaths. And the carriers are getting out of control. Like, there's no reason to pull back. We should commit. Again, barely anything shoots up here, but we're waiting. We're giving the Zerg player time, and Hydras are amassing. There we go. The Hydra reinforcements have arrived. And with this many Hydras, we should be okay as long as we can avoid the storm. As every lurker gets targeted. Nova goes off. Connects to the Ravager. And even though ArT may have missed his window, like there was a big window that was wide open to abuse, he's still in a decent position there. He killed every single lurker, but now there are 17 Corruptors on the way. And ArT doesn't have much on the ground to support this. Those 17 Corruptors, they can go ham. They can kill all these carriers, especially with the Hydra support. So ArT, he may have just waited a little bit too long, given the Zerg player too much time. Zella Runby comes in, gets dealt with. Zella Runby towards the left-hand side. Once again, lurkers are in position. Base is going to be going down. Oh, the Hydras! Oh, they run into the lurkers. Storm on the Corruptors as well. And do we have another storm? We don't. We need another storm here. 1 carrier falls. Nah, there's plenty of anti-air here for ArT. He cleans up the Corruptors. GG gets called. And ArT takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Aristori just had no idea there was Skytos coming until it was already in his face. Until the fight had already commenced. And by then it was too late. You saw the reaction. You saw the Spire and how late it was for Aristori. And alas, nothing that could quite be done there. Once again, a late scout, late reaction, and it meant that the carriers stood unopposed. They stood unopposed. They stood unopposed there. And with that, ArT takes the lead. Takes the lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Getting into game number 2 here. And the game is going to be on ArT. Let's go. Let us go. Quite a large map. A map that honestly is quite conducive to the playstyle that we just saw. If we wanted to get up into Lurker Tech and rush into Sky Toss, this would not be a bad map for it. I'll be honest. Not bad at all. But we'll see what kind of direction our players want to take us in as we're leading into game 2. We are spawning into our game. But again, hope everyone in the chat has been enjoying themselves. Hope everyone has had a great day. Great morning to come, a great evening even. And here we go. Game number 2 is here and spawning in the top right-hand corner of ArT. We have our pink Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes from the land of Poland. It is ArT. One game away from advancing on into the semifinals, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player representing Platinum Esports. He has to fight back here and now to force that ace match. It is Aristori. The pressure is on. Let us go. But again, that previous game did come down to Aristori's lack of scouting. There was plenty of opportunity to send an Overseer into the main base of ArT, and Aristori never did. Aristori, he was so focused and so hyper-fixated on his own ability to get into Lurker Tech that he wasn't giving any mind to the Protoss player and what they were doing. So, yeah, Aristori, he was just caught with his pants down. Hopefully this time he'll be a little bit more attentive as to what ArT is up to. Again, scouting is paramount in StarCraft, even more so as a Zerg player, because the Zerg player is typically the reactive race. Not always, but typically. They do have to react to what their opponent is doing. And last game, game 1, is a really good example of that. It's a good example of how the entire game would have changed if Aristori were able to get into the main base, or even just get an eye on the main army and figure out that carriers were amassing. But again, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, never shame me again. What? We should be seeing Aristori adapt here in game 2. I'm sure that if ArT were to play a similar style, then Aristori would be, again, a little more alert and a little more aware. I'm sure. As we're getting into game 2 so far, just a gate expanded to Cybercore. Standard opener out of our Protoss. Likewise, standard opener out of Aristori. No early gases, no early pools, no early aggression from either player. Oh, I spoke too soon. Are we pulling the boys? We're pulling the boys as we're going all in. We're going for a link flood across the map. Let's go. We did pull out a gas, but we have not made a single drone all game. We're going to be going the long way around. If we had the Zolnaga, we'd be aware, but I believe ArT, he went Stalker first, not Adept. He's staying back at home. He has no idea what's happening. Probe is coming in. We get eyes on some Lings, but that's not enough of a tell. But we will confirm the lack of third. That will be a sign of things to come. No third base. Alarm bells should be ringing. Shield battery's on the way, but it might be too late. Again, the shield battery, because we saw the lack of third base. Adept comes out. We fully wall off. Up. The drones, they get onto the other side. Adept is going to be focused down. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled, but the Adept, it should fall. Just barely. Lings, they're slowly breaking in. Another Adept is halfway through. It's halfway done. We're going to be able to break on through, get on top of the shield battery, on top of that Stalker, but the shield battery does finish. We have an overcharge. But it's surrounded. It gets surrounded. There is no overcharge. We dive on top of the pylon. There is another Adept. But Link Speed kicks in. The wall's on a wall. No shot. The gateway's misplaced. The wall, it's wide open, and we break through. We depower the gateway. We bust into the main base. Oracle is out, but probes are falling. Ay, ay, ay. Again, I mean, the Lings, they could just run in if they really wanted to. This one Ling on A move, it's stopping them from getting in. There we go. And GG gets called. Aristori ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. Again, we saw a decent reaction out of ArT, but unfortunately did misplace that gateway. The wall was not a wall, it was wide open, and even Aristori wasn't fully aware of that, so you can see even towards the end he was delaying his push. But regardless, the floodgates were left open, and Aristori was able to break on through. What's important there is that ArT went Stalker first. So because ArT went Stalker first, it meant that his scout across map was delayed. If he went for an Adept, the Adept would have shaded across the map, and we would have gotten eyes on the lack of third base and the lack of saturation a lot faster. Would have been so much faster. And yeah, ArT is saying that right now. ArT is saying that the build order lost Stalker first. Yeah, I mean it was a shame. It was a shame. So ArT lamenting a little bit about his opener. And now we're getting into our next game. Aristori, he's fanattering ArT a little bit for not noticing his earlier pull. To be fair, I didn't notice it either. To be fair, I glossed over it. But I'll be paying more attention this time. We'll be paying more attention as we are in a tied up series 1-1, and we've made it to game number 3. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta, we have our pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes being forced into the ace match. It is ArT. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Platinum Esports. It is Aristori. Okay, here we go. We're getting into that third game. And I imagine that ArT is going to open Adept first again. Or he's going to revert back to Adept first, as he doesn't want to get caught out. We are heading out. 9 months of papi. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? 9 months. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for those 9 months. We've made a child. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Phasor213. Phasor or Fasor. Gracias. Bienvenidos. Thank you so much for the support. Do appreciate it. Hope you've been enjoying your time here. Hope you enjoy the emotes. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. As of course, we're still in the early hours of the night, in the early hours of this tournament. If you're just tuning in, this is our bi-weekly Polish tournament. It was on a bit of a hiatus because of the offline finals. There was an offline finals in Poland a month ago, just before IEM. Just before IEM Katowice, there was an offline finals. We casted it live on this channel. It was great to see Christiana and Spirit and Laser and everyone congregating together. And yeah, it was just a really cool to see the Polish community come together offline in Warsaw at House. And now we're continuing into our next season of online cups for our Polish players. And we will see where this takes us. For the time being, Stargate Opener out of ArT. Should be going for Oracle production. Likewise, it is going to be Adept first this time from ArT, so he will not be caught with his pants down. Probe going to be scattering across the map. Link speed is on the way. Aristori is running, and Aristori is taking his third. So standard game here out of Aristori. He's not going for a Link Flood. Not this time. Not this time. Also, hello, Flipper Flapjack. Hello. Flip it, Pappy. Flip it. Haha. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Good morning. I'm assuming it's morning in the land of the Americas. Shema. As the Stargate does finish up, Oracle's on the way, so a pretty standard setup here from ArT. Just going to be harassing with Adepts, harassing with Oracles. As I say that, we have our 2 Adepts here. Still chilling back at home before moving out. And it looks like we're going to be getting into a much more standard passive early to mid game here. Aside from the Link Flood that we saw in the last game, where we're calming things down, we're chilling out, we're all good. As the first Oracle does move out. Now in game 1, ArT was able to kill 7 drones in total. That was with all the Oracle harass, that was with all the Adept harass, as we throw down additional gateways. A second and a hidden third gateway here in the main. Interesting. That third gateway is not of the norm. We don't usually invest that heavily here. So I'm curious if we're going for Glaive Adepts. I'm curious if we throw down the Twilight Council without a Forge. We shall see, as this does delay the third base. The third is now on the way. Meanwhile, that's a fast lair. Ooh, a 4-minute lair timing. Aristori, what do you have in mind here? With a fast lair, it can lead into a Nidus, can lead into earlier gases and something like faster Hydras. Oracle gets in. We do get 3 drone kills, though. A good amount of damage dealt already. 3 drones, and we should get eyes on the fast lair. But we don't. Uh-oh. We don't check. Oracle's headed towards that third. So far, 3 drones is okay. We're flooding Lings. It looks like, yeah, Link Queen Nidus all in. We have the Overlord poised in the main base. We have another Overlord here towards the natural. I'm feeling a Nidus. Or drop a Lords. One or the other. As, yeah, we're just flooding Lings right now. 28 more Lings. Jesus. Oh, my God. That's going to be a lot of Lings. And a lot of Queens. Yeah, the Nidus Worm show us as the lair is now done. Nidus Worm is on the way. Link Queen Nidus all in out of Aristori. But here in the main base, we do have vision. Our pylon is set up so we can see everything in the main. We could go for the Nidus outside the natural, possibly, but outside of that, I don't really see a way in. Ooh, as if they get caught out. And as a reminder, it was a Twilight Council follow with a Forge. +1 is on the way. We do have a couple of Adepts here to defend. And we're flooding our Lings across the map. I guess our Nidus Worm is to reinforce. I guess. The wall! No! The wall is wide open. This is not a wall. The Lings, they flood into the natural and workers are going down. Where is that Nidus Worm? Into the main base. Yeah, we are wreaking havoc. 12 workers fall. We depower the gateways. We depower the Robo. And now we're flooding into the main. Can we save the Nidus? Up! Up! Not quite. Not quite. The Nidus will fall. Backup Nidus on the way. ArT barely gets a kill. And he will not let this Nidus finish. But probes are going. Oh my God, so many probe kills. We're getting damage done. And I spoke too soon. The Nidus Worm does finish. Do we get the Queens? We do. The Queens pop out. That's a lot of Queens. They transfuse. They maintain themselves. 25 probes went down. No mining whatsoever. Or barely any mining here at the natural. We depower the Stargate. Lings, they're coming in through that Nidus. They reinforce. And ArT, he's in a lot of trouble right now. Now, thankfully, he does have that shield battery, and I believe he repowers the gateways on low ground. But the gateway is falling. Oracle gets sniped. Yeah, and as the sentries are stuck here in the main base, we send our Lings to the natural. ArT, can we hold? I believe he still has that. Never mind. I was going to say he still has the overcharge, and he does have the overcharge, but what are we keeping alive? What are we overcharging? There's 2 Adepts. 2 Adepts are left. 2 Adepts are remaining. We don't care. We can just wait out the shield battery. We can wait out the overcharge. There are some chargelets coming in. But again, the Queens. Oh, we miss a transfuse. A bit of miscontrol there by Aristori. A little bit of miscontrol. 1 Queen does fall. We're down to a handful of Zealots. We're trying to collapse on this army. More Zealots on the way. We need Lings. Transfuse. Oh, we barely transfuse. Oh my God. Yeah, Aristori almost slipping up there. And there it is. GG gets called. He will not be broken. And Aristori, he pops off. He takes down ArT 2-1 and advances on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Aristori, he was unable to take it to ArT in a longer macro game. If you weren't here for it, game 1 was ArT rushing into Skytoss. Game 1 was Aristori rushing into Lurker Hydra, and he was caught with his pants down. He fell to the mass carrier. Game 2 and game 3, all-ins. Game 2 and game 3, Aristori just committed to the all-ins. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations to Aristori. My condolences to ArT, as he is a very good player, but he is going to be knocked out. He's going to be knocked out of the tournament. It is single elimination, a very brutal format. Very little room for error. So congratulations to Aristori. And with that, he's going to be lying in wait in the semifinals. He's going to be waiting for his next opponent. Meanwhile, we have our next series already ready for us. Let me quickly set it up here. It is going to be one of my favorite players to cast. Let's go. It is going to be Nurchio versus Bappy. Bappy. Oh my god.